Once upon a time, in a small and picturesque village, nestled in the rolling hills of a distant country, there lived a young man named Emilio. Emilio had always dreamt of speaking English fluently, but his journey towards mastering the language was anything but ordinary. Emilio's village, named Bella Vista, was far removed from the bustling cities and the opportunities that came with them. While the villagers lived contented lives, their world was confined to the boundaries of their community. They spoke their native language, and English was an exotic, distant concept. As a child, Emilio's fascination with the English language was sparked when he found a tattered old English book in his grandfather's attic. The book was filled with stories and poems, and even though Emilio couldn't understand a word, he was entranced by the characters and worlds the words painted in his mind. That was the moment he decided he would one day speak English fluently. With no access to formal language classes and no one in Bella Vista who spoke English, Emilio's journey began with a dogged determination to learn. He pored over his grandfather's old book, painstakingly deciphering the letters, words, and sentences. He listened to English songs, mimicking the lyrics, even though he didn't understand their meanings. He watched English movies with subtitles and jotted down unfamiliar words in a tattered notebook. Emilio's relentless pursuit of English soon became a source of amusement for the villagers. They marvelled at his dedication and, at times, teased him about his dream. But Emilio paid no heed. He knew that mastering English was his calling. Years passed and Emilio's English improved, though at a slow and steady pace. He began exchanging letters with pen pals from around the world who helped him understand the language better. They sent him English books, magazines, and even a small dictionary. These gifts were like treasures to Emilio, and he devoured their contents with enthusiasm. As he reached adulthood, Emilio's English proficiency grew significantly. He became known as the English enthusiast of Bella Vista, and his persistence had earned the respect of the villagers. But he knew he had more to learn, and he dreamed of experiencing English in its natural habitat. One day, a group of English-speaking tourists arrived in Bella Vista, and Emilio seized the opportunity to engage with them. He offered his assistance as a tour guide, and the tourists were amazed at his fluency and determination. One of them, a teacher from the United Kingdom, recognized Emilio's potential and offered him a scholarship to study English in England. Emilio's dream had finally taken flight. He bid farewell to his beloved village and embarked on a new chapter of his life. In the United Kingdom, he immersed himself in the language, taking formal classes and engaging with native speakers daily. His fluency blossomed, and his proficiency in English became a source of immense pride for him and his village back in Bella Vista. Years later, Emilio returned to Bella Vista as a fluent English speaker. He shared his experiences, knowledge, and stories with the villagers, who celebrated his success with pride and admiration. Emilio's journey from a small village to becoming a proficient English speaker was an inspiring tale of unwavering determination, proving that with persistence and a dream, even the most improbable goals can be achieved. Emilio's story became a legend in Bella Vista, inspiring the young and old alike to pursue their dreams, no matter how distant they may seem. His journey taught them that even in the most remote corners of the world, the power of determination, dedication, and the pursuit of knowledge could bridge gaps and connect people across cultures and languages. Emilio's return to Bella Vista marked the beginning of a transformation in the village. His story of perseverance and the power of learning a new language had sparked a newfound enthusiasm among the villagers. The desire to explore the world and embrace new opportunities became a shared aspiration. With Emilio's help, the villagers established a small community centre where they offered basic English classes, sharing the knowledge and resources that Emilio had brought back from his travels. The classes were attended by both young and old, and the enthusiasm for learning English began to spread like wildfire. The village also started hosting cultural exchange programs with English-speaking communities from around the world. These exchanges enriched the lives of the villagers, providing them with first-hand exposure to different cultures and languages. Through these experiences, Bella Vista transformed into a place where not only Emilio but many others could communicate fluently in English. The newfound language skills opened up a world of opportunities for the villagers. They began to attract tourists from English-speaking countries, creating a thriving tourism industry. The income generated from tourism helped improve the standard of living in Bella Vista and allowed the villagers to pursue their dreams. Emilio's journey had a profound impact on the village, turning it into a hub of cultural exchange and an example of the transformative power of education and language. Emilio himself continued to explore the world, taking on roles as a translator, guide, and cultural ambassador. His heart, however, always remained in Bella Vista. Years passed, and Bella Vista became a place where people from diverse backgrounds came to learn and experience the richness of the local culture and the warmth of its people. Emilio's dream of fluency had not only transformed his own life, but had also brought prosperity and cultural enrichment to his entire community. The story of Emilio and the village of Bella Vista became a symbol of the incredible things that could be achieved with determination and the power of education. The world was no longer an unattainable dream for the villagers. It had become a place of exploration and discovery, and the beauty of unity in diversity. The legacy of Emilio's journey continued to inspire generations, reminding them that with dedication and a passion for learning, there were no limits to what they could achieve. As the sun set over the tranquil village of Bella Vista, casting a warm golden hue over the rolling hills and the people who called it home, Emilio stood at the centre of a jubilant gathering. The villagers had come together to celebrate the journey that had transformed their lives. Emilio, surrounded by friends, family, and a community that had grown with him, looked out at the faces that once held doubts and now radiated with a newfound sense of confidence. The people of Bella Vista, young and old, spoke to one another in fluent English, their laughter filling the air. In the midst of the celebration, Emilio took the stage and addressed the crowd. His words were filled with gratitude, and his voice resonated with the lessons he had learned on his remarkable journey. He spoke of the power of persistence and the endless possibilities that education and learning could unlock. I stand before you today not as someone extraordinary, Emilio began, but as proof that dreams, no matter how distant they may seem, can be achieved with dedication and a love for learning. Our village, once confined to the boundaries of these hills, now resonates with the voices of the world, and we have become a beacon of unity and diversity. He went on to share his vision for the future, where Bella Vista would continue to be a place of learning and cultural exchange, embracing the beauty of the world and the richness of its many languages and cultures. The evening continued with music, dance, and heartfelt conversations between the villagers and the guests who had come to celebrate with them. It was a celebration of dreams fulfilled, of barriers broken, and of the realization that the pursuit of knowledge and the power of unity could create a world filled with endless opportunities. Underneath the starlit sky, Emilio looked at the village that had transformed and the people who had grown alongside him. His journey had not only granted him the gift of English fluency, but had also opened the hearts and minds of an entire community. As the night came to a close, Emilio felt an overwhelming sense of contentment, knowing that the beauty of learning and the strength of community could light up even the darkest of paths. In Bella Vista, the village of dreams and determination, the legacy of Emilio's journey would continue to inspire generations, reminding them that with a passionate pursuit of knowledge, there were no limits to what they could achieve. And as the world continued to change and evolve, the village of Bella Vista remained a shining example of what could be accomplished when a community united in the spirit of learning, understanding, and embracing the beauty of the world. The end.